All right, do you think we can get this thing off of here without killing ourselves or destroying something in the process? Let's find out right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. This is the 70 that we drove up north of Terre Haute to get, and we made it back alive and in one piece. And all we had to do is spend $314 on chains and binders, just as an added precaution. It probably would have been fine, but I would rather be safe than sorry. So, and I'm a pretty sorry person, so that's how it worked out. But I'm gonna get all this strapping pulled off of here, and then I guess we'll go get the loader tractor and we'll see if we can't somehow or another get this backed off of there. It's gonna be a lot harder to do this by myself. When I had those two guys helping me, it worked really slick. But we'll have to get this wheel and tire out of here, which might be a trick at this angle. I don't know. I can probably do it by myself. And then that one has a wheel weight in it. And what I might do is just carry this right down right away and torch those bolts off and get the wheel weight out of it so that it's not as heavy, because we don't need that kind of hassle in our life for no farther than these are going to go. What's weird is it only had one wheel weight. Somebody robbed the other one at some point. So yeah, let's start taking the stuff loose and see what happens. Now what I'll do is point you directly into the sun so that you can enjoy that. Sure. I don't know if I talked about these the other day, but I was up at the old, it was I don't remember what day it was, but anyway, it was when I got those two carts, that Cushman and that Harley Davidson cart. I realized I didn't have enough stuff with me then either. I stopped at the Tractor Supply store there, and they had like 50% off of some stuff and straps and things. And so I got these 2 in a pack for $6, and I bought all of them that they had. And it's pretty handy. It's got this little retractable gizmo, which I'm sure won't last, but by then maybe the next cap will be charged. But for $6, you can't hardly beat that. It keeps them nice. All right, there's 2. Now there's only like 5 or 6, 7, 8 more to go. We'll leave these lay outside somewhere so they rest up. We'll probably go ahead and leave that one around the sheet metal for now, because it's windy and I'd rather my sheet metal stay here than be across the road at the neighbors. Like my mail, which can't seem to show up here the right way. So I guess it's time for another rant, because some people probably won't know what I'm talking about. But I have this deal on my phone where you can see all the mail you're supposed to get. It's called, what's it called? Informed delivery. You can sign up for it. I'm sure you can too, wherever you live. And it shows you a scan of all the letters and stuff you're supposed to get. And then also, you know, if you buy stuff online like eBay or Amazon or whatever, they usually send you an email and say that your stuff's been delivered or whatever. So several days ago, I got that, you know, looked at that delivery thing, and it showed I was supposed to be getting some mail, and go to the box, there's nothing there. And I thought, well, okay, that's fine. You know, some days they're off by a day, and, you know, I figure they don't want to drive all the way out here or something. They're probably supposed to, but I figured that they just, you know, it didn't happen. No big deal. Usually shows up the next day. Well, the next day, same story. It shows that there's packages, and it shows that mail, and nothing shows up. So I'm getting kind of ticked off now. So I think it was the third day, I kept getting notifications I had packages being delivered. You know, front porch, it said. Well, I was here all day and there was no packages. So I called the post office and I said, what's the deal? And they said, well, they said, let's look. Where do you live? And they, you know, this is a small town. Like, my address, there's like maybe, I don't know. There's probably not even 1,000 people that go out of that post office. I don't know for sure, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. So anyway, after talking to the lady, they said, oh, you have one letter here. And it was a thing wanting money from like the sheriff's fund or something. So obviously no one would steal that. So I said, what's the deal? I said, I got this thing, you know, it tells me all the mail. It's through the post office, so I know that I'm supposed to have mail out there, and I know I'm supposed to have packages because it keeps sending me things that's delivered, and it's parts for stuff I'm working on. And well, we don't know, you know, we'll check and let you know. So finally I drove down there because I thought, this is ridiculous. I got 2 more messages that I had packages delivered, and it said front porch and it's not here. So I went down there and I said, what's the deal? I said, have you got a mail carrier that's stealing my packages, or what's happening? Well, we don't know. So she said, you know, I think there was a sub driver on that route for the last 3 or 4 days. I said, well, that's great. I said, call her up and find out where my mail is. So they call her up and she says, well, I put it on your silver car. And I said, what are you talking about? I don't have a silver car. And she said, yeah, it's grown up in the weeds. And I said, oh, really? I said, did the place that you dropped it off happen to look abandoned? Oh, yeah, it did, actually. And I said, and you thought that was a good place to leave mail, huh? Well, I didn't know. She said there were 2 dogs there. Yeah, it was over there. Nobody lives there, really. There's somebody who lives there maybe part-time, and the guy that owns it lives in Kentucky, doesn't even live here. So I told the people, I said, okay. They said, you want us to go back and get your mail tomorrow? And I said, well, I'm going to drive over there right now. And if it's there, I'm taking it. Because I said, the dogs have probably been playing hockey with it. And sure enough, that is what it was. I found all my packages. She had laid them on the silver car. Some of them had fell off and the dogs were messing around with them. I found my mail in their mailbox on top of their mail, which was stuffed in there forever and again and nobody's been getting. But my stuff, since the box was already full, was crammed in on top and practically falling out in the road. So I got all that back and took it, and I called the guy who owns it and I said, hey, I said, is there something wrong with your sister? Because I said, I'm not, you know, it looks like she's not getting her mail. And he said, no. He said, she just doesn't do that all the time. So he said, it's okay. So I wanted to make sure that there wasn't like somebody laying dead over there and that's what was going on. But I was kind of perturbed that a mail person, I know that if you don't do that every day, you know, if you're the sub, you're not going to know everything. But would you not call and ask somebody instead of just leaving, you know, thousands of dollars worth of packages laying out in a strange driveway with 2 wild dogs and, you know, a place that looks abandoned? It's very frustrating, especially because one of them was in fact an advertising clock and it did in fact get destroyed. So tough luck on my part there. But I got with the actually talked to the seller, and the seller made it right with me, which it's probably not all her fault. I don't think she packaged it A1, but I think if I had got it the first day before the dogs had a chance to play pool with it, it probably would have been fine. But oh well, can't win them all. All right, what are we down to? A couple chains, one chain with tension, but we got to get the back one pulled off of there too. Good boomer, good. That's one of the good ones. The old-fashioned ones. I'm trying to think of how long this trip took me. I left at about 8 o'clock and I got home at about 5:30. It was 2.5 hour drive, so that would be 5 hours of driving. Of course, on the way back I took it slower because I didn't want to knock anything loose. But still, it took a lot longer than it would have, all because those wheels are set out wide. If they had been narrow and it would have went right on here, we would have had her made. But what are you gonna do, you know? It went smooth for what it could have been. Like I said before, those two guys were A1. I mean, they really helped get this on there, and you know, they were on board with my suggestions of doing stuff like this. So, and it worked pretty good, to be honest. The only thing I would change is be more prepared and have better cribbing that wasn't all different lengths and shapes, and then I could have had it pre-attached to each other, you know, more solid. If I had come prepared and had, let's say, the bottom two pieces, you know, bolted together and screwed to the floor ahead of time, I think that would have, you know what I'm saying. But you never know if that's the way that's going to be or work out. This worked out pretty good. Luckily, there was a Tractor Supply within eyesight of the place, so that worked out pretty slick, where we were able to just, you know, I was able to carefully putter up the road over there with my 2 chains on and then buy these other ones. And the ones I bought, I mean, all they were doing was they were holding down against the cribbing so that the cribbing didn't go away, you know, and also holding it from teetering. So if the cribbing would have left on one side, it still really wouldn't have been able to fall because the chain would have been holding it, you know. It just, I don't think you could have flipped it off of there. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure if you tried hard enough you could accomplish anything, but all right, now what did we decide we were going to do? Well, I think we decided we're going to have to get our wheels off first before we do anything. And what we're going to do there is we're going to take this one right down to the torch and we're going to cut that weight off so that it's not as hard to handle by myself. It's not really that heavy, but I don't want to not be paying attention and have it fall on top of me. It's also kind of wedged in here now between that bar on the trailer and the front wheels. We had to make it happen, you see. Well, that chain won't fit through there, so I guess I could get a bolt and just bolt it through there. That's always the fun way. If this one's got a regular link, it might go through there. Yeah. Come on, come on. See, there's ways to do it if you're just patient enough or poor enough or desperate enough. Come on. I feel it. There we go. All right. Well, step one, I guess, would be to get the loader tractor. Wouldn't that make sense? And get that, and then we'll get this off of there, torch that, and then, yeah, progress will be made. We can get that one off. Ooh, I took this reflector off because it was dangling in the breeze, and it actually rode in there the whole way. Amazing. At least one good thing is I think we finally got some nice weather. It's a nice day, warm. Enjoy that mind-numbing vibration. All right, that'll either get it or it won't. We'll find out. It's under a little bit of tension there. Let's get it away from the pickup. It doesn't need any more dents in it than it already has. See, the bad thing about that pickup is I got to be careful, because if I accidentally hit it around here, it might set off all the airbags, and then it would really be a mess. That didn't go exactly how I envisioned, but I think it's spun in a way that we can get the torch to it. I've got to look. I think I might actually have a mate for that weight. Like I had an odd number of them too for some reason. We probably don't want a rubber tire fire. It's loose. It'll go. But you know what I didn't account for in this setup? The chain is through the wheel well. So it's not going to fall. Okay, that did not go as smoothly as I'd hoped, but it's off. You didn't see me scare him off camera, did you? I thought I had record going. My GoPro's almost full. I only got 16 minutes left. So I guess I'll get the other wheel out of there, and then we'll just see what happens. I might not just bring you back when I'm ready to take it off the trailer. All right, as per anything, there's two choices here. This will either work or it won't. But one thing's for certain, it's coming down. Gravity is on our side. It may not be upright, but it's coming. Go. Is that enough? It's enough for one side. What we did on the other when we loaded it was the same type of idea. Like now, I'm going to put the wheel on that other side. I don't think I left enough room here, but it hit that piece of cribbing, so that's okay. But it should go very simply, but those are famous last words. We've got 15 minutes left on the GoPro before I'll have to stop and do something so that you can keep watching. The socket is still on, so that's good. As long as we can get a few, you know. There's 1, 2, 3. Some of them are in the bed of the truck. It wasn't very organized what I did, but nonetheless, like I said, it's going. 4 is a plenty to get it off of here. 14 minutes. Can I make it? I don't know. My tire has a calcium spot on one side, as in flatness. How far up are we? Too far. Let's get this up under there. Like up there. Dum-dum, you need a way to hold it up while you're going. Stop. There. Stay. Okay, dum-dum. What you didn't take into account for, well, let's just do this. It's going to be backwards, but that's fine. I didn't take into account for the offset of the rim. So we'll just put them on backwards. Almost. There we go. What do we got to do? Something we can't do. Rotate. Yeah, but we're not in the right spot. Would there not be one that would line up? That one's the one I smashed flat. Okay, so we understand what's happening here, right? We're just trying to get it off the trailer. These wheels are coming off eventually. So for now, we're going to put them on backwards, just to finish what we've started here. And I ruined one earlier. That's 3, that's good enough for now. If we do it the way we did on that one, flipping it inside out, I'll probably have enough room. Are you off enough? No, you are not. We need to go back and up. Just a little bit. Oh, it's going to line up and I have no bolts. Ah! Yay. Oh. Come on. Come on. Oh. There. Look at how solid our cribbing is. Alright, so that's not anywhere close to going to hit that. We probably should do a dangerous thing. There. It'll kind of go off of there now. And we haven't destroyed anything. Like I said, that fender was already junk. Don't see that chain next to it and think it's got hurt. Come on. Uh-oh. Yes. All right, 4 minutes to spare, but it is off of there. Boy, she's wide. Now we can put her in a corn picker. And that's probably what this guy did, and that's why the hubs are out as far as they are. But anyway, we're on the ground now. Successfully unloaded. Happily not stuck, other than our water pump, which is stuck, but we'll address that when we have to. But yeah, another 70. And it's strange because I always said the 70 was one of my least favorite, and this is like 7 or 8 of these I've had now. I don't know, but there she is. Hopefully we can get her fired up without too much trouble. And then our hardest part is going to be pulling wheels and hubs and getting that swapped around. And potentially also difficult will be however we switch this front end. I have no idea, but I'm betting that you're pulling the motor to do it. That would be my guess, because it has a whole different front here. The whole front pedestal's different. So yeah, we'll address that as we get to that. Maybe we'll decide to forget that idea, but at any rate, it's going to get rear steel on it one way or the other. And then there we have it. Then I got another project cleaned up from under the tree, and that was part of my goal. I want all that stuff out away from there. It's been sitting there for long enough. Time for something to happen or things to go away. So yeah, but this is a pretty good candidate for what we needed. That's an excellent light there. Good lens. That bracket's bad, that bracket's good, but it's got a lot of good parts on it. I think the brake setup is better than the one on my river tired 70. That's unusually nice. So I better find a can to put over this, because it had one and that long blew off on our journey. But we don't want to ruin our treasure now after getting this far. So look for this in an upcoming video, I guess, is the moral of my story. The little trailer did great with what it was asked to do. Once again, me asking more of a trailer than it was designed for, but it worked. And my quick job of screwing held the cribbing solid enough that it didn't vibrate all over the place, and that's what I was after. So good deal. I think we will call this a success here, and yeah, we'll pick this up some other time. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am. Or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.